Previously on Wings of Fire Arc 1 Wrap-Up.
In case you're not sold, we're going to listen to the prologue to prove to you that this isn't just any other book about dragons.
Yes. It's very violent right from the start, and we were kind of like, I get that this is marketed towards middle grade, but it could kind of be YA. Her name is Peril, and I think that she is the epitome of plot convenience. My note says, Tsunami, calm the fuck down.
Yes. She's kind of bitch to everyone else.
She's kind of a bitch, but, you know, we love that for her. The charisma, the ego. So, yeah.
It comes with being a pilot.
Yeah. I guess Silver kind of, which is the sloth, kind of helps her to get accustomed to that a little bit.
He just goes like this.
Yeah, and wraps around, and it's so cute. I'm beautiful and brainless.
Fashion queen.
Yeah. No brains. No brain cells.
Where'd they go?
Where are they? Stop! Jesus. Very bad. Her wing is just like sizzle.
Which is a perfect segue into book 4. At the end of book 3, when they're all doing their rallying cry and Tsunami has been appointed a general in charge of Rainwinds.
It always reminds me of that Vine when he's screaming, Patricia, at all the girls. That's literally Tsunami with the Rainwings, just trying to get them into line. And they're like, I don't know what you're saying anymore. Like, they just are so oblivious and unable to do anything. And it's hilarious.
What Kestrel was saying about the Rainwings being lazy is kind of true.
It is kind of true. Glory was an exception because Glory worked really hard and was very
Glory
motivated.
Glory is the only Rainwing who knows how to read.
Yes.
At the end of that book, Starflight is standing there. They're in front of the tunnel to the Night Kingdom, because there's another Animus Enchanted tunnel to the Night Kingdom. Starflight just gets nope.
Yeah, Starflight gets yeeted.
Just gets grabbed and dragged back to the Night Kingdom.
Yes.
And then we get a really weird series of events. Marosier just kind of is like, hi, you're back here now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all disappointed me.
Yeah. Oh, and then we meet
the false dragonettes.
The false dragonettes, who are another set of dragonettes.
That are close enough.
Close enough. They're not the prophecy dragonettes, but they're ish. And
we have to talk about, to start this, we have to forward this with Starflight's one true obsession throughout all of the books. Sunny.
Sunny is the Sandwing character. She's tiny, she's adorable, she's seemingly very innocent. And Starflight is obsessed with her the whole time. And in this book, we get all of his thoughts, because we're in his perspective of how much he misses and loves Sunny.
It's almost a Peril level obsession.
Oh my god, it's so
just
ridiculous.
with less murder.
Yeah. What's interesting about his perspective is that he is very anxious, and he's obsessed with scrolls and needs to read constantly.
He's a book nerd.
He's a book nerd, but scrolls. Okay, leave me alone.
There's more over there, too. And over there. And over there, too.
Why are you gonna call me out, okay?
He is very nervous and not very sure of himself.
He's terrible at making decisions.
So Marosier takes him to the Night Kingdom, and then, like, he's not, like, sure what he is. He's not really, like, a prisoner, because he sleeps with the regular Nightwing dormitory and stuff like that. But he's
can't
also
leave.
Not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
It's like the Hotel California. He meets these false dragonettes, is what they're called normally, but they're the just another group of a Sea-Wing, Mudwing, Skywing, Nightwing, and Sandwing.
There's an actual Skywing in this group. Yeah.
And we meet the other Nightwing.
But they're like the backups, right? So like Marosier collected these other dragonettes to be like, if the first ones fuck it up, we have these backup ones that we can...
And he's pretty sure they have.
He's pretty sure that they have completely ruined the prophecy. Heavy quotation marks on the prophecy. But
we'll
yes.
Get there.
Yeah.
They live on this very horrible volcano. There's no food there.
There's no food. They're all starving.
There's no ash in the air.
There's no dragonettes. There's very few dragonettes in proportion to the rest of the tribes because
the Nightwings have like no one. They're pretty much a dying tribe at this point.
But they have continued to craft this persona of we're so great and
mysterious
we
and
have all
grandeur.
these powers and we're just, we're staying over here not because we are a dying tribe, but because we're so spooky.
Spooky and
Yeah.
mysterious.
But they've continued to perpetuate that idea, but it's really not.
Oh, and
Not
also
the
none of them
case.
have powers.
None of them have powers anymore.
Yeah.
Sad.
But anyway, there's the Nightwing Queen. We meet them pretty quickly on. Well, we don't really meet them. We know that they exist through a screen because she has not been seen in reality. Mm-hmm. She works exclusively through her very nervous daughter.
Yeah. When I read that part, I honestly thought that she was just dead.
Dead. That's what I thought too. Like,
Yeah.
Her daughter was just like,
Continuing the,
like everything the Nightwings do.
Right. I mean, that's why I thought that, because it's like clearly...
But anyway, we start off with the Nightwing Queen being kind of unhappy with Deathbringer because he was actually supposed to kill the Dragonettes.
Yeah.
Oops. And not supposed to try and kill Blaze. Double oops.
He
tried.
bad at being an assassin, clearly.
Well, he's really good at it, except for when he's distracted. And we follow good old Starflight around, and mostly it's Starflight and Fatespeaker, because Fatespeaker's this excited little dragonette who wants to see the outside world.
Yeah, she's the Nightwing false dragonette.
Yes. And she is convinced she has prophecy powers. She doesn't.
No.
She prophesied that they were going to have a whale or whatever it was, or something to eat, and that was her continual prophecy almost of the entire
They would eat a certain thing.
But yeah, she's kind of obsessed with Starflight from the beginning.
And he's kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this. I love Sunny.
Starflight's nervous Nelly, follow all directions, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. And Fatespeaker's just like, let's go do things. And he's like, no.
No.
And she's like, yes, you're coming. And he's like, but yes. So they crawl into the old treasury and find a dream visitor, which is a animus enchanted object that lets you visit the dreams of another dragon. Because he's a book nerd, knows exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah, because he's read all the scrolls about all the animus-touched things.
Yeah. So he knows exactly what this is and knows exactly what he's going to do with it. He's going to contact his friends, specifically try and contact Sunny.
Obviously.
He manages to dream visit Glory at some point.
Yes.
Basically, he talks to Glory and is like, please come rescue.
Please help.
And how's Sunny?
Yeah, exactly. How's Sunny? I need to know.
Well, first he dream visits Kinkajou, actually. Remember that? Yeah, because he dream visits Kinkajou and Sunny's taking care of Kinkajou, and he's like, Sunny! At some point, him and Fatespeaker on another one of their nighttime adventures manage to find the entrance to the Queen's cavern, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they meet Queen Battlewinter.
It's Battle Winter.
Battlewinter.
But he said Battle Winter the entire time we were reading the
Yes.
books. And I'm like, what are you saying?
Because I'm bad at reading.
Yeah, you cannot read books. Clearly.
So, we meet Battlewinter, and she's this gigantic freaking dragon who's in a cauldron of lava because an ice wing tried to kill her. And she's, like,
Logic.
frozen.
Yeah.
If she leaves the lava, she's gonna die.
Yeah. I'd like to know more about the science of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird, because we
like-
definitely see lava kill other Nightwings very, very
Yeah,
quickly.
so it's like because
Actually, at
I'm...
the beginning of the book, they threw one into the lava.
They did. They did. We also read these a while ago. So
Yeah.
forgive us for messing up the order of events? Question mark?
That's definitely happened a lot.
It's definitely happened. But we're doing our best.
We read these when? Summer of last year. It's been almost a year.
Yeah, or fall. So yeah, it's been a while.
Also, we meet Starflight's dad at some point and find out he's kind of horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a nice guy,
Well,
but
this
he's...
is just like the rest of
Yeah, the parents,
the parents.
are not.
They're all bad.
None of them are what they expected.
No.
But basically, his dad is like the chief scientist for the Nightwings and is running all of these wonderfully horrible experiments on Rainwings. They escape back to the rainforest. And now they're in the rainforest and free. And they're like, we have 24 hours before the entire Nightwing tribe invades. And Gloria's like, that's not good.
So they go to the Night Kingdom.
Oh, also the volcano's gonna explode.
Right. So
That's why they're
they're
doing
in
this.
they're in the Night Kingdom when the volcano erupts. And then Glory is like, "Hold up, I got to find Deathbringer."
Well,
so
'cause-
She goes into, like, the dungeon and is like, the volcano is erupting, and she's like, I gotta find Deathbringer. So
Yeah.
she goes and she gets
Another
Deathbringer.
adorable scene.
I love that scene.
The Nightwings are like, we gotta get off this island. And that's why they've been studying the Rainwings so much.
Because they need a place to go.
To live, yes. So Starflight proposes that the Nightwings come live under Queen Glory, and Battlewinter's not having it. But her daughter's like, yes, please, anything but
Please,
me.
please, please, please.
Because her daughter does not want to be queen.
No.
She's not ready. They got all the Rainwings out, and they say to all of the Nightwings, basically, pledge your allegiance to Queen Glory, or stay here and die.
Right.
So what does almost everyone do?
Right. Marrowseer, though.
Marrowseer is the
He catches
last
dead.
one. Well, he comes up and basically goes like, hey, yo, I made that stuff up. Prophecy's not real.
Yeah, that was a big big
Peace.
plot point. And then he just yeeted into the volcano.
He gets blown up by the volcano.
Yeah. But then we end up with the Nightwings in the rainforest, and Glory is now the queen
Of two
two tribes. And her, right-hand man is Deathbringer.
Which everyone finds mad suspicious.
Yeah, it's like a little sus. He's like, I'm her bodyguard. That's all that's happening right now. And everyone's like, sure, bruh. No, that's accurate.
And also Starflight's blind now.
And also, yeah, Starflight is now blind, which is very upsetting.
Yes.
And then there's also the wonderful...
oh yeah, and Sunny dumps him right before this all happens.
Yeah, so he's blind, and he confesses his love to Sunny, and she's like,
Yeah, nah.
you're friend-zoned. I'm sorry.
No, your brother's owned.
Yeah, your brother's zoned. And that's pretty much it for book 2, or book 4.
Book 4.
That's it.
Yes.
So then on to book 5.
Shoot me.
Yes.
We're gonna have to put a link to that
Yeah,
video
we're
in
gonna
the
have
description.
to. Basically, we keep quoting this video where
Frozen Gem.
Frozen Gem.
Such wonderful YouTube channel.
Yes, I'll link that in the description. But she basically does a video where she replaces every vowel with
in their
oob.
names with
So
oob.
yeah, it's just all the characters. So like Gloobree is Glory, and Kluby is Clay, and all that. So we say that all the time.
That's the explanation to the weird names.
Yeah.
On to book 5, the last one of arc 1. And this is where we learn Tui's trait of, here's all of these untied up ends, let's
Yes,
pull them
she
all
has
together.
a tendency to write really long part 1s of all of her books.
Part 1.
Yeah.
Looks like half to me. Book 2 is the worst though. That one literally is half the book.
Yes, literally.
The solution to the Sandwing War is all in
Yes.
this one.
So she keeps, everything until the very end. And it does keep the books moving very quickly, though. It is very
Yes, it
fast-paced
is.
because you want to know what's happening.
Basically, we start off with Sunny, and she gets kidnapped.
Oh my god, what is it with the kidnappings in this book? Jesus.
She gets kidnapped by 2 Nightwings, who are like, we're gonna usurp Glory's throne.
Yeah.
And use Sunny as a pawn for this.
And while she's kidnapped, we get introduced to Darkstalker.
The Darkstalker.
The Darkstalker, who is like the main villain of Arc 2.
Sunny stumbles upon this by
Yes.
accident. So basically it's 3 Nightwings actually. These 3 Nightwings have this magic mirror that they can use to spy on the conversations of other dragons. It's another one of the Nightwing's wonderfully magically enchanted objects.
Yes.
Sunny's like, I gotta escape from these guys, and they're all asleep. So nothing's really like keeping me here. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave.
She's really not as stupid and innocent as
They think
everyone
she
thinks
is.
she is. She's actually really smart.
And that's really frustrating to her, because
Yeah.
no one listens to her. And that's really frustrating to her.
She really wants to be taken seriously.
But she's so cute and small and adorable. And when did the cute small thing ever come up with good ideas?
Oh, poor Sunny.
She steals the magic mirror, and to spook them a bit, she gets red mud and draws on it, on a rock. What did she say? I forget exactly what she says, but it's like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Leave this
Yeah.
place or die.
And so basically they wake up and they see this and they're like,
The Darkstalker.
it's the Darkstalker. And basically
The ghost.
that is
The introduction
to the main villain of Arc 2. And he's basically this like thousands of years old dragon.
He's a ghost at this
He's a
point.
ghost
It's
at
a
the
ghost
everyone.
story.
Yes, it's a ghost story of he lived thousands of years ago and he was really scary.
He
so
was the most powerful dragon to to ever live.
Yes, and you're going into his voice now, because
Yes,
he voices the character in the fan audiobook.
Go check out Jade Mountain Libraries.
Yes, I'll link that in the
Darkstalker.
description as well. So yeah, basically it's just a great introduction to Darkstalker as a character and how everyone is really afraid of him.
Especially the Nightwings.
Especially the
and
Nightwings and the Ice Wings are both really afraid of him. Everyone else really doesn't know who he is or like Sunny accidentally stumbled upon this, right? Like she just kind of came up with a random thing to write, and it wasn't intentional for it to be the Darkstalker.
No, but that's what they took it as.
Yeah.
And she ran with it. So they go to the Sand Kingdom. Because basically, the Nightwings are like, we're going to sell out the Dragonets of Destiny to burn.
Yes.
So they go to the Scorpion's Den, which is known as a den of thieves, basically. But it's also where Sunny's egg was stolen from. Yeah, so Sunny meets Thorn, and Thorn's like, you're my long-lost daughter.
Yeah.
Are you here for the bounty? That was the
Oh, yeah.
question, because they're like, there's this bounty on an odd-looking Sandwing. They meet Six Claws as well.
Yes.
The creatively named dragon with 6 claws.
Again, Tui's ability to name things.
It's just about on par with my fingers. We meet Six Claws, and Sunny's really happy she's reunited with her mom, who's in charge of this...
The one good parent in this entire...
Well, not the only good parent.
One of the only ones.
Think about,
in
Moon's
this
mom.
arc.
Coral's a good mother. She is. She's a little misguided. She's good. She has a good heart.
Okay, fine.
She cares about her daughters.
Thorn is the best one.
Not really about her sons, the 24 of them.
Isn't it like 30?
There's like 36, actually.
Oh my god.
This is where we get into like the branching, freaking, like everything coming together land.
Yeah.
So Scarlet disappeared from the Skywing Kingdom, and it might seem weird that I bring up Scarlet, the Arc 1 villain that we haven't heard a thing about. Well, actually, no, we did, because Scarlet visited Gloria's dream.
Yeah, that was really the only interaction.
Yeah.
Up until this point.
We got literally her in Book 1, Book 3, and now in Book 5, because Sunny gets captured and taken to Byrne's stronghold.
In this weird link tower where
Yes, 'cause
Byrne
Byrne is
basically
obsessed
keeps...
with anything strange.
Right, and basically, we didn't really talk about Sunny looking weird. So Sunny is a Sandwing, but she doesn't have a tail barb.
And
she's
gold.
really small, and she's gold instead of that kind of like tan, sandish color. So she doesn't look like a regular
normal
Sandwing at all.
Scarlet was going to give Byrne Sunny as a gift.
Yes, because she looks strange. So she gets brought to this weird ling tower.
And our friend Scarlet's in there. And she's totally freaking crazy.
Yes.
And has her face half melted.
Because of Gloria's venom.
And so Byrne is not at the stronghold currently. She was out doing something probably bad.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet Byrne's brother.
Smolder.
Smolder. And Flower.
Flower, his pet. Scavenger,
Scavenger.
which is a human.
Yeah. Smolder isn't like evil-ish. He's like, he doesn't want to die because Byrne killed the other 3 brothers.
Yeah.
And they didn't listen to her. So he's
not
like,
evil, but he's just more concerned with his own skin
he's like,
than
I'm gonna just
what's
follow
right or what's
orders.
wrong. Yeah.
So like, Sunny asks him if they can like go for a walk and stuff. So he's like, yeah, sure, I don't care, just don't run. So, he wants to live his life and not die.
Yeah.
So they go out and walk around a little bit and, get to know the stronghold a little more of the story of what happened that started the Sandwing War. Because it was basically Queen Oasis, which was the original Sandwing queen before the 3 sisters, was killed by a scavenger, and her treasure is missing. They don't know where it is, because scavengers like treasure. We humans like shiny things.
Shiny.
And specifically, there's one very important thing that's missing. The Eye of Onyx, which is this enchanted object that they didn't really say what it did at the time. But it's important and missing. So Sunny is like, ooh, that's interesting, and Smolder's like, probably shouldn't have told you all that, but yeah, whatever.
He's not the smartest.
He's not really. He likes Sunny to an extent. He's like, as long as you're chill, I don't really care. I'm not gonna be like maniacal. You'll get enough of that when Byrne gets back.
Exactly.
Guess who shows up? Not Thorn, but Peril.
Oh God. Do I smell Plot convenient.
Well, Peril was there to rescue Scarlet,
Right.
actually.
Right.
Because Peril's a really weird character.
Well, Peril has the motivation of she was abandoned at birth, and
Sort of.
sort of, and Scarlet takes her in, and she ends up being the like primary fighter for the arena.
Well, she was the arena's champion.
Yeah, so
And
she
as-
basically
to
wins
quote
everything.
Scarlet, her little monster.
Right. So Scarlet kind of takes an interest in her, and Peril, only really knows Scarlet as a maternal kind of figure.
She
even
kind
though
of hates her, but
she
she
hates
still
her,
is
but
like.
she also feels allegiance to her and feels like it's her responsibility to
Not to
get
mention
her out.
the fact that Scarlet was using a dream visitor that she found in the Weirdling Tower to just haunt Peril's dreams every night.
Yes. So
Which,
there's a
as
lot
you
of
can imagine,
yeah.
isn't very pleasant.
So she's like, maybe just for my own sanity, I have to get Scarlet out of the
I
tower.
think she'd just be like, I'm gonna kill you, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, she's there to free Scarlet, and she meets Sunny, and Peril doesn't really like Sunny, because Clay kind of cares a lot about Sunny, and...
Peril doesn't like any of Clay's friends.
Not
to be
really.
honest.
And then Thorn shows up at the same time, and Thorn was losing the battle quite handily
Yeah.
to Burns' soldiers. And then Peril comes in, and Burns' soldiers are just like, spook. Because Peril still does have the reputation of
I can
murder.
burn everything.
Scarlet destroyed a stuffed Nightwing in the Weirdling Tower, and the bounty that Thorn had out was for Marrowseer, Stone Mover, and Sunny. So she knows Marrowseer's dead. She knows where Sunny is, but there's one more Nightwing she'd really like to find. We don't exactly know why yet. But she's very interested in this torn up Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
So after Peril kind of is like, you're gonna listen to this one, or I'm gonna kill you, Smolder is like, alright, we'll take you to the Weirdling Tower and show you.
Yeah.
And the Nightwing is not there, and Thorn's all like disappointed because it's not the right Nightwing. And Smolder mentions that they may have intercepted a message from Stone Mover. So he says, oh, it's in the library. It's kind of a mess, so you're gonna have to look around.
He
locks them in the library.
traps them in the library.
Well, Peril has now left. So he's like, ha ha ha, I win again. And then they escape.
And then they escape again.
But in their escape, they get separated, and Sunny ends up going back to the rainforest. But before she gets back all the way, she finds this little scavenger village, and then, like, kind of intimidates two scavengers
Aw.
into, like, bringing her a bunch of treasure, and she recognizes some of it from the Sandwing treasury. So she's like, oh, this group might have the thing that I
Yeah.
want, but they don't. And she's confuzzled because she can't talk directly to the scavengers, but they kind of figure out a way of sort of communicating, and once they realize that she's not going to eat them, they kind of cooperate.
Yeah.
She knows that there was 3 bags of treasure stolen, but the scavengers only said there was 2 that ended up coming back. So she's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Where did this 3rd bag go? Then she goes back to the rainforest and meets with her friends, and they devise this plan, because Sunny is very smart, but also a absolute ball of mush, and does not want to solve the Sandwing War with any kind of violence. Also, the fact that the prophecy wasn't real really tore her up.
Yeah.
Because she kind
really
of felt
wanted
like
to
she
have
had
that
a
purpose.
destiny.
Yeah.
And now it's like, nyeh. They end up going to all of the queens of all of the different regions and being like, come meet on this day,
Yeah.
because we're going to solve this. We're picking. And since they're the Dragonets of Destiny,
That was what they were
They're
supposed to do the whole time. Is to
so everyone
choose.
kind of like says okay.
I was like, all right, well, I guess
There's a
the
short
war's gonna be
excursion
over.
to the Mud Kingdom. There's like all those different things, and everyone kind of just wants this to be over now. Like, I think most of the tribes didn't really care who won at this point. Honestly, I think most of the tribes would have preferred no one won.
It was just so long of
It was 18
being in this
years
war.
of fighting, and this is where your favorite plot convenience comes
Oh my
in.
god.
Somewhere in here we're introduced to the concept of a dragon spite viper, which is this snake that with a single bite can kill a dragon.
Yeah.
And Byrne really wants one for some reason. She's fascinated with odd things. So Blister comes, and it's kind of this tense thing, because Sunny proposed this to all of the queens and the sisters as a peaceful resolution. But there's obviously some tension there.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to end peacefully.
So Blister comes in, and she brings this ornate chest with her and says, as a sign of good faith, I have a gift for you, dear sister. Byrne's like, I'm not having this. You're a conniving asshole. You're trying to kill me. You don't think I know the sound of a dragon's viper?
Yeah.
And so she quickly breaks the chest and grabs the snake, but turns out Blister had 2.
Oh, yeah.
So Byrne gets bit. And that's the end of Byrne.
That's the end of Byrne.
But now there's 2 dragon's vipers on the loose, and no one knows what to do, and everyone's in chaos.
Scary.
And then one of the snakes starts running at Starflight, and Starflight can't see anything. Fatespeaker is there and trying to help him, but it's not working too well. And Clay ends up taking the bullet valiantly and ends up getting bit.
Does.
And that seems like the end of Clay, right? But does someone
That was
wanna
really
say,
upsetting.
Someone want to say what happens next?
Oh my god. So Peril shows up.
She literally flies down from the sky.
Oh, yeah.
After not being seen anywhere there.
No, she just, descends, and she's like, I can fix it! And so she comes down, and she, with her fire scales, just burns the venom out. And basically cauterizes the wound, because he's, got this giant open wound now.
I will admit that was a little bit heavy on the plot.
Peril to me is just in general plot convenience. She just shows up when it's necessary, and she's perfect for Clay, and there's this whole thing. It's Tui, I respect it, I appreciate it, but can you just not at the plot convenience? But that moment is the top tier plot convenience moment, because it's just her I'm gonna come down and fix everything.
Yeah. Now Byrne's dead. Clay is unconscious.
But he's alive.
The snakes are dead, and now it's just Blaze and Blister left. Blaze and Blister go into a challenge. And Blister is going to win. Because Blaze doesn't know what to do in a fight.
No.
But because Blister is Blister and can't just do anything simply, because obviously if Blaze was fighting Byrne would have just been like, no. Yeah. But Blister decides to be silly and have a villain monologue and toy with Blaze. Mm-hmm. And as we all know, monologues are deadly. If you're ever being evil, don't monologue. Don't do it. Never ends well. Sunny is still trying to figure out what happened to the Sandwing treasure, specifically the Eye of Onyx. And there's this obelisk that marks where Queen Oasis was buried. And she's like, wait a minute. So she starts digging where Queen Oasis was buried while the 2 of them are fighting. And she finds the 3rd bag of treasure with the Eye of Onyx in it. And Blister's like, that's mine.
I'm the rightful queen.
And Thorn is like, you're not gonna hurt Sunny.
Yeah. And
so Sunny gives the Eye of Onyx to Thorn. And then the Eye of Onyx vaporizes Blister.
Yes.
Pretty much is what happens.
Because the Eye of Onyx basically is supposed to choose who the rightful queen is, and Blister was not the rightful queen. So both of them are now dead, and Blaze is just going about her merry way.
So Blaze is like, hey, yo, don't want to be vaporized. It's cool.
I don't want the crown. I'm good.
And Thorn is like, I'm the queen now. And all of the Sandwings are like, great, we liked you best anyway.
Please.
And basically that's the end of the war. We never talked about Sunny's dad.
Oh, yeah. So an important kind of subplot
we glassed over, totally.
is that Sunny's father was the other Nightwing that Thorn was looking for. So
and
basically, he's still alive, but he was an animus Nightwing.
Sunny goes and visits him at some point, though, and he is the dragon at Jade Mountain, because in the first book, actually, Kestrel says, if you ever need help, go to the dragon at Jade Mountain. Mm-hmm. And Jade Mountain is the tallest mountain in all of Pyria, And really no one goes there that often, interestingly enough. So she goes there and she finds this dragon like half encased in stone, but it looks almost like he's made of stone.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he just is like, yeah, I'm your dad, I'm an animus, and animus dragons, when they use their magic too much, kind of lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of losing my mind, I chose to enchant myself to become stone. The more of my soul I lose.
We get to understand why Sunny looks the way she does then.
Yes,
because
she's half Nightwing.
Half Nightwing, half Sandwing, so she looks different. So that's resolved, at least we understand that. And that sort of starts... I guess there's more relationships between tribes later on. That doesn't happen a ton in this book.
No, not really.
But that's sort of an introduction to that concept, and so we get a lot more of that going forward.
So, but anyway, Sunny has this idea for the Jade Mountain Academy, which is going to be a school for dragons of all tribes to come together and learn about each other.
Yeah.
And she gets all of the Dragonettes of Destiny to agree to help her with this. Even Tsunami.
Who's not thrilled.
Thrilled. But... And, well, Nick's one. Glory is like, I still have 2 tribes to manage.
Right, so Glory is off doing her queenly
I'm going to
duties.
do this, and you guys can run a school.
Yes. And that's where Arc 2 kind of takes off.
Yes, that is the
at
end
the
of
school.
Arc 1.
So, the one other thing I wanted to talk about is ranking the books. Because we love them all, obviously, as you can tell
These
from
are
our
all
rant.
5 stars in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we, on Goodreads, I believe we gave all of them 5 stars.
Well, there was, I think, 1 4-star. But
I think, yeah.
But I think you might have upgraded it
you
later.
bumped it up, yeah. But they're all fantastic.
But
I mean,
in
Tui's
relation to
writing
themselves, yes.
impeccable.
The thing with these books is, like, when I say that I read the first book in a day, I mean I actually got through this entire thing in a 24-hour period.
Yeah,
and
they're like addictive. You want to continue reading them.
The voices of the characters are amazing. The stories are really compelling to listen to. Like, I know we ended up simplifying a lot of stuff here, but even still, this has been, for the edited version that you get, this is around an hour and 45 minutes of film.
Yes. So there's a lot to say about it because it's so complex, and we just barely scratched the surface of everything that's in the series in general.
There's several subplots we didn't even cover. Yeah. There's several things we barely brushed over. This has been a very abridged version. Each of the characters is unique and different. You get very invested in each of these characters, even if they're not your favorite characters, but you still feel like you want them to succeed in everything.
Yeah. But that being said, we do have
our
favorites
gripes.
And gripes and things that are not our favorite, things that are, our favorite. But in terms of, like, ranking them, what would you say is the best one?
Well, I think we've pretty much alluded to this.
Yes. Book 3 is our favorite because it covers a lot. But the perspective of Glory is our favorite perspective. She's
not
such
just
an interesting
because
character.
She's one of our favorite characters in general, but also because she really does have an interesting perspective on what is going on. And
so much happens in this book. I love the setting of the rainforest.
It is
that was one of my
the
favorites.
most information dense of all of them.
Yeah, which is why we talked about it for so long. But this one is just incredible, and one of my favorite books, honestly, of all time. This is the book that kind of made me, I was already invested in the story, obviously, but this book really made me...
We're going to read all 14
we're really going to get into this series. So I really appreciate this book for doing that.
So what do you say would be next?
I think the next best book is probably book 5.
Yeah,
do you agree?
Book 5 was really a lot of fun to read. Sunny is another really interesting character to read from because she's so underestimated by all of the other ones, and she really has a lot of her own personality conflicts within herself, kind of similar to Glory. But she ends up being able to construct this entire ending to the war and does a really good job of it. And also, we get a ton of just really interesting and fun scenes in this book.
Yeah.
And Thorin is amazing. And we get a lot more of the Sandwings, which is pretty cool. Because they're actually a really cool tribe, too.
And this one is really fast-paced, and there's just a lot of events that happen, especially at the end. And I believe you read a lot of this one to me, so it was fun to do that as well. But, yeah, I just have really good memories of reading this one, and I think it's just really well done.
You can tell I did.
Yeah, he broke the spine, which is my pet peeve. But, I can't complain. He's reading to me. So how can I complain?
So what you say would be next? I have trouble saying what's next.
I don't know.
Because I know which one's last, but the
Yeah.
two other ones are like very closely matched in my mind.
So what's in last place for you?
Book 2. As much as I love Tsunami, her book 2 was not my favorite story. We just did not get a ton. Basically, the other 4 don't show up until the last part, so
Yeah.
you get a little bit of the beginning and a little bit at the end. But it's very difficult to have a book set in the Sea Kingdom when the rest of your tribe, the rest of your crew cannot exist in the Sea Kingdom.
Right.
So they kind of are pushed off to the side, and we get a lot of subplot. And it does play into the overarching arc, and it plays into Tsunami's development.
We also just get a lot of like the intricacies of the Sea Kingdom, which is interesting, but it doesn't really. I mean, it gives you context, but it doesn't really give you.
Yeah.
I don't know, things that are gonna help you understand the overall plot and get you to the conclusion of the arc.
No, and honestly, like a lot of the problems I have with this book are related to the way Tsunami acts throughout most of it.
I also think that, like, when Tui wrote book 1, she wasn't sure if it would take off. This one, she's trying to figure out where she really wants to go with it. And this is her way of, like, giving you, one of the characters and giving you character development. But she doesn't entirely know yet what she wants the overall thing to be. And that's okay.
It's fine. But this is also the first book that we're, like, out of that closed-in feeling. So, like we said, that we didn't get actually a ton of Clay's development because Clay wasn't really the focus of the first book. The focus of the first book was the world itself.
Yeah. And I think this is where she starts to kind of find her groove in terms of the character development, which this one doesn't have as much.
Yeah.
But I think, between these two, she's really just trying to find
what the rest of the series is
works and what doesn't work. And I think that's totally valid. But it's not our favorite.
It's not our favorite. And honestly,
but it is still a great book. I mean, overall.
I love Tsunami overall. She's a good character, but I like her much more in Arc 2.
Yeah. So that's our least favorite.
Yes.
I would say...
Between these two now, I think we disagree.
I think we disagree. Because I would say I don't like this one as much.
Yeah.
But I think you would...
I prefer book 4. I think book 4 and then book 1 and then book 2 is the way I would rank them. I enjoyed the kind of new Night Kingdom.
Yeah. I just didn't love Starflight's perspective as much as some of the other ones.
No,
because he is so anxious and so indecisive, and not a lot happens.
Difficult to read from occasionally.
Right. And not a lot happens in the first bit of the book. I mean, he's just kind of wandering around, discovering things about the kingdom, trying to figure himself out. And that's, like I said, it's great for the character development, but it's just not as interesting. And the Night Kingdom, to me, isn't that interesting of a kingdom to go around, because there isn't anything there. It's under a volcano. Everybody's like dying because they're starving to death and everything. Nothing really happens until like the second part of the book. And for me, that just knocks it down a little bit. But
yeah, it's hard for me because I really do enjoy book 1 because it is what drew me into the series. I don't know. It's really hard for me to say because it's like I do love Clay's arc and I really love the Skywing Kingdom as a concept and things like that.
Yeah.
And Peril.
So basically what we're saying is these two
they're kind of a match pair.
They're kind of,
It's like they're not... I can't really honestly say I like one more than the other. If I had to pick, I'd say book 4, then book 1, then book 2. But honestly, these two are pretty much the same rank in my mind.
If you got to this point, if you even get to this point...
Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations for getting here, because this was a long video. But yes, we love these books so much. They've been, a thing that's brought us together even more, and a thing for us to talk about, especially while we were doing long distance for a while. It's something for us to really connect over. Mm-hmm. And yeah, reading together was such a wonderful, fun thing that we got to do. And we love this series so much. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. I don't know that all of my videos will be like this. Probably not. But if you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.